Welcome to Defeating the Blank Page podcast, smashing creative blocks one page at a time, hosted by JoeyTheJag, creator of Supernova Slam.
There comes a moment in every creator's journey when a single question becomes a doorway. That question is, what if? What if the sky turned red and never turned back? What if a boy who failed his art class discovered a hidden world inside his sketchbook? What if the quietest person in the world had the loudest secret? In this episode 11 of Defeating the Blank Page, we explore how what-if stories aren't just idle curiosity. They're the cornerstone of webcomic creation. A what-if isn't about adding dragons to your grocery list. It's about rewriting the rules of your world. And that world, when done right, becomes your comic's reality. Hi, I'm JoeyTheJag, and welcome to Defeating the Blank Page podcast. So let's get on with the video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for your awesome support. The What If Spark. Every webcomic you've ever loved probably started with a single spark, a tiny, strange, wonderful question. The beauty of What If is that it's democratic. It doesn't care how experienced you are, how many followers you have, or what art software you use. All it asks is that you explore. When you're stuck, when you're staring at a blank panel or an empty script page, a what if gives you the momentum. It's not about logic. It's not about structure. It's a creative impulse. And this episode, we're going to teach you how to harness it. Why what if works? What if works because humans are curious. Because readers want to be surprised, delighted, terrified, or uplifted. The core power of a what-if story is the way it bends expectations. It presents a world that looks like ours, but isn't. It shakes your main character loose from their comfortable status quo and drops them in a spiral of action, discovery, or absurdity. It also gives you, the creator, something to chase. It pushes your plot, challenges your characters, and forces you to invent solutions. You aren't just following a trend, you're building your own mythology. What if versus concept? Let's be clear, what if is not the same as a concept. Concept is basically an example, a kid discovers he has fire powers. A what if is, what if fire powers made people forget who they were every time they used them? One is an idea, the other is an engine. A what-if drives story. It demands your answer it through character arcs, twists, and reveals. It has consequence. Your webcomic needs a living, breathing what-if at its core. Not because it sounds cool, but because it will pull you through chapter after chapter without losing steam. Testing your what-if. How do you know your what-if is strong enough? Easy. Ask yourself, does it create conflict? Does it require change or decision making? Does it raise questions without needing immediate answers? Is it open-ended enough for multiple episodes? If the answer is yes, run with it. If not, tweak it until it sparks new questions. Because a good what if is a never-ending factory of plot points. Character-driven what-ifs. Your what-if shouldn't just create plot. It should challenge your characters. What if your strongest character was forced to become a sidekick? What if your villain fell in love with their greatest enemy? What if your hero had to lose to save the world? These are the kinds of questions that push character arcs forward. Readers don't just care about powers or world rules, they care about people. Your what if is only as good as the transformation it demands. Setting up the world. What if doesn't live in a vacuum. It affects every inch of your world. If gravity reverses every time someone lies, how does that affect culture, fashion, politics? If children are born knowing the day they die, how does that change parenting, education, society? Every change has ripple effects. Your world must react to your premise. That's how you make your setting feel real, no matter how wild it is. Layered what ifs. Once you've locked in your primary what if, it's time to layer in more. Secondary what ifs help to deepen your plot. Let's say your main premise is, what if every dream you have become real the next day? You could layer in, what if your dreams start predicting someone else's future? What if you stop dreaming entirely? What if someone else learns to control your dreams? These layers become season arcs, villain motivations, or personal challenges. Keep building. Beginning with the end. Great what ifs don't just start stories, they end them too. Know the consequence of your core question. If your premise is, what if lying kills you? Then ask, what is the final truth your character must face? If your comic doesn't resolve its central premise somehow, it risks feeling incomplete. You don't need all the answers up front, but you need a direction. Every good what if has a mirror, something it reflects, answers, or breaks. Writing the first chapter. Start in chaos. Drop the reader into a world where the what if is already active or is about to erupt. Don't explain the rules immediately. Show them. Let the reader feel the disruption. Hook them fast. Then use chapters 2 through 5 to explain, develop, and deepen the question. Make sure every update pulls from the initial premise. Treat it like a gravity well. Art choices and tone. Your art should reflect the tone of your what if. Dark premise? Use shadows, high contrast, messy panels. Light or silly what if? Use bright colors, expressive faces, exaggerated body language. Style reinforces story. Think of how different what ifs would look like in a gritty noir style versus a soft pastel slice of life comic. Consistency in tone builds trust with your readers and keeps your story from feeling disjointed. Episodic versus serial. Some what ifs work better as a series of self-contained episodes, others demand a serialized arc. Episodic example is, what if every day your pet becomes a different animal? New animal equals new problem. Serial example is, what if your town was disappearing one building at a time? Ongoing mystery. Decide early which format suits your idea best. This choice shapes your pacing, structure, and cliffhangers. Reader interaction and theories. What if stories inspire speculation? Use this to your advantage. Create mysteries, hide clues in panels, let fans debate in your comments. When your what if is juicy enough, your readers will do half the marketing for you. This doesn't mean writing a puzzle with no payoff. Give them wins. Let them almost predict you, then twist. Reinventing your what if. Over time, your story will evolve. Your what if may mutate. Let it. Sometimes the best arcs come from letting your characters interact with the premise in unexpected ways. What starts as a simple question can become a multi-season saga. Don't fight it, grow with it. But never forget your core. All good reinventions honor their roots. Personalizing the premise. Your what if should reflect you. If it doesn't feel like it comes from your heart, readers will know. Ask yourself, why this idea? Why now? The best stories are the ones that only you could tell. Let your experience, fears, dreams, and quirks bleed into your premise. That's where originality lives. Brainstorming what ifs in bulk. Here's a trick. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Write down as many what if questions as you can. Don't judge, don't edit. Then pick 3 and expand them. Who's affected? What changes? Where does it go wrong? Turn one of those into a comic. Try it. Trust the mess. Turning idea into action. A what if is nothing without action. Sketch a few thumbnails. Write a rough script. Create one finished panel. You don't need the full story to begin. The key to running with it is starting. Not perfect, just started. Your webcomic doesn't need to be flawless, it needs to be real. Real-world webcomic workflow. Plan 3 chapters ahead. Create a consistent schedule. Use assets like brushes, 3D models, and templates to speed up work. Post regularly, stay in touch with your readers, build momentum. Let your what-if power you, but let your workflow sustain you. The ending and beyond. Your what-if might lead to an epic finale, or evolve into something you never expected. Be open to both. The final chapter doesn't need to close every door, but it should answer your core question. That's what makes a story feel complete. And when it ends, ask a new question. The final conclusion. Burn the blank page. The blank page isn't your enemy. It's just a question waiting to be asked. What if you stopped hesitating? What if this was the start of your best idea yet? What if you made the thing that only you could make? Then go. Do it. Make that webcomic. The blank page just lost. For my Supernova Slam Pepper Cake Punch webcomic, my what if is, what if a boy unintentionally is given the opportunity to summon a guardian warrior? And that's basically the premise of my story. That's the what if. And everything revolving around my story revolves around this particular concept for this particular arc and story. The story might end in another series or another saga or arc, but for now, this is the main focus, this story. And that is what's driving me to make it. There's many times where we're writing stories and we want to tell 10 different stories all at once. Take your time. Let the writing process guide you. And in this case, for my own experiences, before I started making this particular story, I had literally 20 different story arcs planned. And I had to delete and erase every single one of those ideas to come to this conclusion and say, this is where I'm going to start. This is where I'm going to push myself to write and draw and make my webcomic. It starts here. It's not the beginning or the end of my webcomic universe, Supernova Slam universe, but it is a good understanding for me to do it and make it happen. This what if is my scenario, and how can I tell it to the best of my ability in my own unique way? And that's pretty much it. Anyways, thank you very much for checking out the video. I truly appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Stay bold, keep drawing, and defeat the blank page. See you in the next panel.